The first time I ever saw the Avro Vulcan was in a James Bond movie, Thunderball. I was just a kid watching that massive otherworldly aircraft glide across the screen, and I remember thinking, what on earth is that thing? It wasn't like the American bombers I grew up seeing in books or museums. The Vulcan looked like it had come from the future, sleek, white, and impossibly graceful. Even in a Bond film full of gadgets and Aston Martins, the Vulcan stole the show for me. From that moment on, I was hooked. The more I learned about it, the more fascinated I became. That huge delta wing, the way it seemed to slice through the air like a blade, the perfect balance between elegance and raw power, it was mesmerizing. The Vulcan didn't just look powerful, it looked alive. And then there's that sound, the legendary Vulcan howl. The first time I heard it, I couldn't believe a jet could make a sound like that. It's eerie, mechanical, yet strangely emotional. It feels like the airplane is crying out to the sky itself. What really grips me, though, is what the Vulcan stood for. It was born from the darkest years of the Cold War, when the world was constantly on edge. The men and women who designed and flew her lived under the shadow of unthinkable possibilities. Yet instead of creating something grim, they built something beautiful. An aircraft that symbolized both deterrence and hope. As an American, I've always admired the Vulcan because it represents a kind of courage that transcends nationality. It's not just British engineering, it's human creativity at its boldest. The Vulcan was more than a bomber. It was a statement. It said, we will not be intimidated, but it said it with grace. Every time I see one in a museum or watch footage of a Vulcan making a low pass, I feel that same awe I felt watching Thunderball. It's nostalgia, pride, and respect all tangled together. The Vulcan reminds me of a time when flight wasn't just about function. It was about imagination, about daring to build something magnificent, even in the face of fear. To me, the Avro Vulcan will always be more than metal and jet engines. It's the soul of an era, an echo from the skies that still makes my heart race.